Okay, so today we're on the couch, the Take Me Higher couch, talking about masculinity. Masculinity is a big one. I'm quite nervous about this because masculinity gets kind of, like it's also, there's some negative connotations around this.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I know within your background, and the same as mine, coming from a military background, there's a very strong masculine culture and vibe that in certain situations can be quite detrimental. And I guess the buzzword is toxic masculinity, isn't it?
It is. And I think that's a bit that I want to sort of shine a light on a little bit today, because I think masculinity is needed in the world. It balances out. If we get it right, if we get masculinity right, it celebrates femininity. It sort of makes space for, good femininity as well. But toxic masculinity can have complete opposite effect.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, if we talk a male versus female with that sort of toxic masculinity, then there's significant downfalls there. And even male with male, it leads to that culture of over hyper competitiveness, of dominating, of physical violence. That's male on male. Then you look at male on female domestic violence and rape and all those things that we look at and we don't value.
Absolutely agree. I mean, my question to you, where do you think this sort of this modern wave of toxic masculinity has come from? It seems to have risen to the surface quite quickly.
Yeah, it has. I think largely it comes to do with the competitive lifestyle that we live in. Everyone is trying to outdo the next person basically through any means possible.
Yeah.
And if that means it's going to be that I'm going to bully you to a point that you're now submissive, and now I'm the dominant, I'm the alpha male, I'm the king, I'm the lion of the office, the workplace, the wherever,
the gym.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All those places that we've witnessed these things, right?
Yeah.
I think today's lifestyle is almost breeding and continuing to show that that's a way of getting in front of people.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I've seen a lot of it through things like social media, right? No one's completely exempt from watching social media. But controversially, I see people like this Andrew Tate character who's kind of, lording it around, showing off a bit of muscle, kind of being, really sort of inappropriate when it comes to talking about women and their role within society and their role within relationships with people like that.
Yeah.
And it angers me. It makes me furious because I sort of think, maybe we've never had masculinity right, or maybe it was right and it's gone astray. I don't know. But people like this are just kind of destroying our good name.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And by good name, I assume you mean the male gender.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And I think a lot of it comes from confidence as a man. I have had the experience of working with elite level military operators, soldiers, divers, interrogators, people that are at the top of their game, are very, very confident within who they are and are happy to be quite reserved. They don't need to dominate the people in the room. Yeah. They don't need to be physically assertive. They can just rest, allow, maybe there's someone in the room that is being like that. They're happy to just let them go, let them say their piece, carry on a bit like a pork chop, and then come in with their confidence and their competence and put them back in their place.
Yeah, I've had really similar experiences in the corporate world, and I've really enjoyed observing those kind of, and I'd say, if anything, there's a true alpha-ness, if you will, to that exact sort of behavior. You know, seeing, okay, let's so I would argue that what is framed today as alpha male is almost like beta male, if you really want to get into these things where, I've got a point to prove, I've got a chip on my shoulder, I've got to be I've got to womanize, I've got to be overbearing and aggressive so that I can prove myself. Yeah. I'd say there's a real kind of insecurity.
100%. Yeah, completely agree. And that sort of leads me to the thought of what or who is the alpha male? Is it that big bravado, even someone that has the classic little man syndrome that has to live outside of their physical being. Just be yourself. Be competent. Be confident. Be physically capable. Be mentally, psychologically, socially, spiritually capable, and that will allow you, and that will allow others to view you as the alpha. If that's what you're chasing, I would suggest that every alpha male that I've ever met, that's not what they want. That's not who they are.
Yeah.
They're just evolving and growing themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no want to step on others to then improve themselves.
And one thing that puts me in mind of is this recent interview that you and I have both seen separately with Simon Sinek talking, and we kind of almost shared it with each other around the same sort of time, around this positive stroke heroic masculinity.
Yeah, which I love the idea of and promote that be a confident man. Don't be an overbearing, dominating man. It's you look at the difference between I guess the example of the carer versus the owner. I care for my wife and my son and my family and my friends, but I don't own them. I don't own her. I don't own my son, but I deeply care for them.
Yeah.
You look at the lover versus the controller. Again, I love them. I love my wife. I love having sex with my wife and being sexual, but I don't control her and make her. It's something that we come together to do. There's no dominating. There's no expectation or you must fulfill me. It's I love you. We must fulfill each other. It's a beautiful one. It's the protector versus the keeper. I don't keep them. They aren't my belongings, but I will stand up and I will protect them. And if that means going to war to physically protect them, then I will do that. That is what I think positive masculinity is.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And I think, I've seen it in really similar ways. I think we need to redefine what the role of masculinity is. And this idea of being heroic and servant masculinity, potentially, even to a large extent. My wife, far more intelligent than me, as I'm sure you...
And better looking, man.
And better looking, yeah. Well, that's not hard. But my role is to support her, to be the person that is there, the sort of her cheerleader, sort of saying, you can do this. And, I want to make space for her to be the best person that she can possibly be.
Yeah.
If I'm doing my job right as a father and as a husband, then I'm making space for all these people around me to just become incredible people. I don't want control. And I've never wanted control of anybody. In fact, I'd rather be there in the background supporting and showing that love and having that sort of ability to coach and to guide.
Yeah.
It's really important to me.
And that's, I guess, for me, while you say that, it makes me think about your ego. You don't have an ego that you need stroked by saying, I'm the man of the house. I dominate this house. You are there to support your partner and your kids. And they do the same with you. It's a partnership.
Yeah.
Again, while we talk, I think of the issues that we have, particularly in Australia at the moment. We look at youth crime, domestic violence, all those sort of things. That suggests to me that we have a problem with men, with our leadership, with our elders. We don't value elders. You look at, in the past, elders are the teachers. I would like to think that I am an elder in training, but I'm not that person yet. I am not a wise old man that's lived a long and happy and healthy life, that's made mistakes and learnt lessons.
Yeah.
But I do see that at some stage, and as I grow more and more, it is my role within community and society to show the right way to live and how to be a man.
So true, Ash. You're absolutely right. And I could not agree with you more. If not you, then who? Yep. And if not now, then when, right? Yep. And I think that's exactly it, and this idea of like youth crime, I think because the elders are missing, where are they? Where are these people that are positive role models, that are getting kids to kind of find their true north? I was reading something the other day that said that a lot of these kids that are committing sort of like youths committing crimes are sort of young entrepreneurs, but don't have anybody to look up to as role models apart from the sort of the toxic masculinity stuff that they see around them.
Yeah.
So, really, do we need to start putting ourselves out there? I think this is a question to us and to everybody, I guess, that's watching, to be more involved and to offer more guidance and support.
Yeah. And I think, and I put this as a call to arms or a challenge to the men out there, speak to your sons, speak to your daughters, show them the right way to be, the right way to act, how to respect others, how to grow in a positive way. I watch you do it with your children. I watch you do it with our community. I'd like to think that I'm doing the same thing. I think there are people out there, many people out there, that are doing the right thing, but we're fighting an uphill battle, right?
Yeah.
Society is competitive. We're all trying to get one step ahead. Well, how about we help each other take those steps rather than step on each other to get there?
Completely agree. So look, in summary, masculinity, it's not a dirty word. It's got some sort of negative connotations at the moment, which breaks my heart. But I think if we do the right thing and we start to take some of these heroic, positive traits, then masculinity can become a really good thing again. And I think that's a really important thing.
Yeah, don't be embarrassed by doing the right thing.
Yeah.